Excited to talk about the cycle in Virginia. We've got some great candidates joining us. So I'll first pass it over to Heather Williams, our president of the DLCC.
Thanks, Lauren, and thank you all so much for joining us today. As Lauren said, I'm Heather Williams, president of the Democratic Legislative Campaign Committee, and I'm excited today to be joined by some really great candidates in Virginia. We've got Lindsay Doherty, candidate for House District 75, Delegate Nadarius Clark, candidate in House District 84, and then we've got Senator Ghazala Hashmi. She is the candidate for Lieutenant Governor. And the reason why she is joining us today is because the role of Lieutenant Governor in Virginia is the tiebreaker in the Virginia Senate. And so with a one-seat majority in that legislative chamber, this role is really important to us as we think about building power in the state legislature and ensuring that Democrats have the maximum amount of power headed out of Election Day in November. So just to stage set for a second here, Republicans are screwing over the states, and they have been all year. This budget bill is terrible. It's going to have a deep impact on state budgets. And that is in light of everything that has happened with DOGE already. But what's interesting, I think, about the context of what's happening in Washington is in the states, we're winning elections. We've already had 5 majority deciding special elections this year already. We've won all of them. We've also flipped 2 seats, state Senate seats that Trump won by double digits, along with returning the Wisconsin Supreme Court to Democrats this spring. So good news coming out of state elections. This is really important as we head into November, where we are looking to protect our one-seat majority in the state house in Virginia. So the Virginia House was won, a Democratic majority was won by a margin of 975 votes. In November of 2024, Senator Tim Kaine won 62 districts in the state, and Vice President Harris won 59. That tells us that there's opportunity for growth, and that we must absolutely work towards expanding the map while ensuring that we are returning all of our incumbents back into their legislative offices. So Virginia is an interesting, I think, moment right now, given that the state really touches every impact of Republicans' leadership in Washington and the way in which state leaders are complicit in that. The DOGE cuts obviously have a deep impact on the workforce, on the budget, the Medicaid. Virginia's a Medicaid expansion state with a trigger law, protecting people's health care. The military presence and the VA hospitals and rural hospitals, every facet of what we are seeing happen in Washington is going to have an impact on communities across the state. And we're really excited to hear from our guests today about how that is showing up in the work that they are doing in their campaign work and on the doors. State Democrats are the closest to the ground. They are face to face with their community every single day. They still very much live in their communities and hear from their constituents or their voters every single day. We are going to get such a good pulse on how Americans are experiencing this Republican leadership and how they are going to hold them accountable as we move through the summer and then into the fall election. So I think the thing to note about that that's really important, and as we think about it, is we want to look to protect and expand this Democratic majority to ensure that we have a Democratic lieutenant governor so that we go into power in Virginia ready to fight. But also, Virginia is such an important moment when thinking about what comes next in the midterms and how people feel about Democrats' ability to win, how they feel about our messaging, and our proof points, right? That we can win elections, that we can connect with voters around the things that they care most about: affordability, cost of living, good quality communities, good healthcare, good education, and that we've got a message that is compelling. And I think the speaker says it best when he says Virginia can send a love letter to everyone else as we head into the midterms. And that is a really important moment. So, I think that's alongside, right, the firewall that our Democrats in the states are providing everywhere. So Virginia is this first moment of this election cycle to really prove that we are in it, and that we can show voters the path forward. And so with that, I'm excited